Sister Helen Prejean was born in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, on April 21, 1939. Her mother, Augusta Ray, was a nurse, and her father, Louis Sebastian Prejean, was a lawyer. She joined the Roman Catholic Sisters of St. Joseph of Medale in 1957 at the age of 18. She then went on to receive a degree in English and Education from St. Mary's Dominican College in New Orleans in 1962. Then, her master's in religious education from St. Paul's University in Ottawa, Canada. She has since been a religious director for parish and taught upperclassmen high school students. In the early 80s, Sister Helen Prejean began her work with inmates on death row. While she was living in housing projects in New Orleans, she began a friendship with Elmo Patrick Saunier, who received the death penalty sentence for the double murder of 2 teenagers. Sister Helen was in the room during his execution. Following Saunier's death, Sister Helen began passionately working with inmates on death row. At this time, she was spiritual advisor to inmate Robert Lee Willie, who would unfortunately be put to death soon after. Sister Helen decided something had to be done to stop this unjust practice, and began her work to abolish the death penalty altogether. With the help of others who agreed with her views, they held vigils during executions and marches. She also founded a support group for the family and friends of the victims of the death penalty. She also served as the chairperson for the National Coalition to Abolish the Death Penalty from 1993 to 1995. During this time, she was also spiritual advisor to many other women and men on death row, such as Dobie Gillis Williams and Carla Faye Tucker. Sister Helen also wrote 2 books to draw attention to the issue. Her first, titled Dead Man Walking, an eyewitness account of the death penalty in the United States, which would then be turned into a movie starring Susan Sarandon as Prejean, and a second book titled The Death of Innocence, an eyewitness account of wrongful execution. This book was about those she met on death row, who she believed to be of innocence. Sister Helen is currently working on her 3rd book, titled River of Fire, expected to be released in 2019, as well as continuing her work campaigning for and counseling those affected by the death penalty. Today she works as a spiritual advisor to 2 death row inmates, Manuel Ortiz and Richard Glossip. She firmly believes both of these men are innocent. Sister Helen, along with the help of defense lawyer Nick Trentacosta and investigator Susana Herrera, have successfully uncovered enough evidence to push forward with a trial to prove the innocence of Ortiz. This trial will take place on February 5th and 6th. On her website, sisterhelen.org, you can find a link to write a letter of support to Ortiz.